Welcome to another episode of Roll Up a Power Up. So get your blush rolled and your drink poured. Alright, now we'll be here on today, Mr. Roll Up. Well, y'all see what time it is. Alright, let's go.
Welcome to TMZ Live. If the defense in the Diddy case gets its way, Diddy could be a free man next month, because they have filed a massive document, basically setting out their position. And their position is that what he was convicted of amounts to nothing more really than an orgy.
Orgies.
Orgy.
Yes, that he had orgies. Big deal. It's kind of the tone of the documents that they filed, and they, make their case for him. If you're going to convict him, that this should be a very lenient sentence.
So what they're asking for is this. They are saying, look, he was found not guilty on all the serious charges: racketeering, fraud, force, coercion, rape, all of those. Found not guilty. He wasn't charged with rape, but it was part of the force issue. The only thing he's left with is the Mann Act, which is taking a prostitute across state lines and paying them for sex. What they're saying is, what that is worth is 14 months in prison and then supervised release for some period thereafter.
Now, we should say that this is what they are.
Right.
Diddy's team is suggesting to the judge. The prosecutors are on the far other end of the spectrum, where they're saying he should get somewhere between 4 to 5 years. That would, I'm sure, include time served. Again, he's been in for a year now.
I got to say,
that would be
that would be throwing the book at him for a Mann Act violation. If he gets 14 months, if the defense gets what they want, he'd essentially get out October 3rd, because
he's been in
for a
13
year,
months,
and you get 15% credit for time served. So he'd basically be out after the sentence, and then he'd be on supervised release.
Right.
So there's something more, though, and that is
whether or not
he should be sentenced at all.
Yeah, there's this side battle that's going on where they want to throw out the two Mann Act convictions. They've won, and they're sort of trying to spike the football and say those Mann Act convictions should be thrown out as well, because all Diddy did was he never actually hired the prostitutes for the purposes of having sex himself. What he did was hire prostitutes, bring them across state lines. He said they said on the stand, the prostitutes, it was for our company, but even if you believe they came for sex, it wasn't for sex with him. He's saying he was the amateur pornographer.
Alright, so we're gonna stop it right there. Cause after that, Harvey just got to talking a bunch of bullshit anyway. You know what I'm saying? If y'all want to check out that full clip, y'all just go to the TMZ channel. You know what I'm saying? It'll pop right up. But like I said, after that, Harvey got to talking some other shit. So now y'all gonna hear what I gotta say about this. How about that? All right. So where I left off with this was after he got found guilty, on the 2 counts of the transportation of prostitution, right? And I said he was looking at, anywhere from 10, well, basically 20 years. You know what I'm saying? Because he got found guilty on 2 accounts, and they carry up to a 10-year maximum. So if the judge wants to, the judge can run both of those cases consecutive, meaning that he had to do split time on both charges, and the judge can sentence him up to 10 years on both charges and run them consecutive. So he can get anywhere from, getting out on October 3rd up to the next 20 years. You know what I'm saying? It's all up to the judge and how the judge break everything down, But if you ask me, when I left off with that situation was all of those victims that got on the stand, witnesses, whatever you want to call it, what it was, 32, 33 people up there, all of them people that got up there, they all admitted to what was going on. You know what I'm saying? So it make his case look good. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, he got a very good chance of coming home early, you know. But if you ask me what I think, how I know the system work, the system usually hit you like in the middle of your guidelines. So if he looking at 10 years, let's just say the judge say, okay, we're gonna run both charges concurrent. So that means he only had to do time on one charge. If the judge say, hey, 5 years on this charge, run them concurrent, uh, 5 years on the other charge, you only got to do 5 years. You don't got to do 10 years. You would have to do 10 years if you ran it consecutive. But when it's ran concurrent, whatever the bigger amount of time eat up the smaller amount of time. You know what I'm saying? So the judge might be running them concurrent, you know, and he pushing to get out on October 3rd in a couple of days, you know. And like I said, that can happen, but usually the way how the system work, they hit you in the middle of your guidelines. You know what I'm saying? To make it even on both sides, the victim side and the defense side. You know, so you ask me, I think he looking at anywhere from probably like 2 to 5 years. They saying that he could be coming home in the next couple of days. That is very true too. Why is that? Because he is a big time businessman. He got a lot of money. He got a lot of lucrative money at that. So he could hit their hand and get some time cut off his sentence to where he can come home that early. You know what I'm saying? But that's up to the judge, the prosecutor, the lawyer, however they bundle it, you know. If he do come home on the third, 9 times out of 10 it's gonna be because they made some type of deal and Diddy hit their hand straight up. Because the system usually gonna hit you in between the middle of your time. If you was guilty on what you did, they gotta make it even for both sides. You know what I'm saying? And that's how they do it. They hit you somewhere in the middle. That's why they were saying they want him to do like 4 or 5 years because they trying to make it even on both sides. But it's all up to the judge, you know. So we'll just see what the judge say. But again, you ask me, I'm gonna say anywhere from 2 to 5 years. You know, that's just what it is. And he could be coming on anywhere, anytime soon. So you never know. You just have to play it by ear, see how it goes. You know. So that's the update on this Diddy situation. You know what I'm saying? I would say 2 to 5 years. You know what I'm saying? But he can get out on the third. If he get out on the third, he hit that hand. If he get anywhere, anything else from like 2 to 5, then believe what Mr. Roll said. That's how the system work. That's how this shit go. You know what I'm saying? They got to make it even on both sides. So we'll see how it go on October 3rd. You know, but y'all heard it here first. If he get out that day, he hit their hand. You know what I'm saying? Flat the fuck out. It's been another episode of Roll Up a Pull Up. So get your blunts rolled and your drink poured.